E-mini S&P start the week off moving higher. In fact, moving over 1% higher today from Friday's close. Recall on Friday we traded as low as 4,700. Well, today we got nearly up to 4,800. So a 100-point rally in a little over a day. A lot of that rally started on Friday, but continued today. Today we saw E-minis up about 57 handles. A lot of this having to do with the shift in Fed rate cut expectations. As well as when and how much. A lot of that is shifted around. Currently, we're seeing odds about 70% that the Fed will cut 25 basis points at the March FOMC. That is down from 100% prior to year end. Now, we will get some confirmation this week via CPI and PPI, so the Fed will be watching those inflation numbers. If they continue to come down, we should see those Fed rate cut expectations move back higher. We also will start to get bank earnings, so a lot out there which could move the markets around quite a bit between Fed rate cut expectations and earnings, all starting later this week. But again, seeing E-minis continue that rally from Friday, moving up well over 1% and very close to 4,800. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, we saw volatility moving sideways to higher as we saw the indices moving lower. That's what we've kind of looked at. That's a historical norm. Today on the rally, we saw volatility moving lower, actually exceeding last week's low print. So seeing volatility moving lower today as we see the indices moving higher, despite the fact that we do have some key news later this week. Lastly, let's talk about what we have tomorrow. On Tuesday, we get the NFIB Small Business Optimism Index. We also get Fed Speaker Barr coming out. He'll expected to talk about the economy, not necessarily to touch on policy. And then we'll look ahead to later this week when we get PPI and CPI, as well as big bank earnings, which will start on Friday. So a lot going on, not necessarily tomorrow, but later this week, which could affect trade. So opening up the week, a big move higher that continued from Friday afternoon, seeing E-minis rally well over 1% to close to 4,800 ahead of tomorrow's NFIB Optimism Index, as well as later this week, inflation and big bank earnings.